Hey, I'm Virgo and this is Psychedelic Actualization. In this video I want to share a goal setting process that could change your life. Goal setting is a very interesting topic and it's such a fundamental one. Kind of the first topics and themes you discover when you get into personal development, self-actualization. And the way I have been going about setting goals has been changing over the years. And today I want to share my process that is working right now. The foundation for my goal setting process of 12-week goals, what I'm doing right now, is my vision, right? My life purpose. And that is kind of the foundation. An image of where I want to be in life and what I want to do in life, say 25 years down the road, 40 years down the road. A vision so big that it's almost a bit intimidating, but also very inspiring for me to follow through with my goals. But this big vision, it's so big, I can't even grasp it, right? I can't even set one specific goal towards that vision. But that is the foundation. And if that is not there, all the other steps are not gonna work. If that foundation is missing, you can check out the link in the video description. I love to help psychonauts discover and actualize their life purpose so they can live in alignment with who they truly are. And also I do with a lot of clients, there's a vision creating process and then the smaller steps that I'm going to explain in this video down to the exact clarity of action steps you need to do today in order to fulfill that 25-year vision of yours. And that's the beauty about it. This practical application, this practical clarity on a day-to-day basis today that can progress you towards this big foundation, this big vision you have for your life 25, 30, 40 years down the road. Okay, so that's the foundation. But from that vision, that big vision, I break it down a little bit and say, hey, okay, for that vision to be realized, it's such a long journey, right? For me, for example, it's to buy an island and build a psychedelic retreat center, one that hasn't been built before, with proper education, almost like a school on top of that. Ceremonies from all kinds of substances in different ways of styles of ceremonies coming together with a lot of different traditions and ways of going about it, and then proper integration, maybe even a meditation retreat, temples, dark room retreats, right? All of this together, maybe even merging all these technologies of flashing lights and sound technology and psychedelics and creating this place of transformation on an island with hot springs and mountains and a beach at the same time. Yes, so you see what I mean, right? This is like the big vision. But then to break it down, maybe even into a vision for the next 5 years, like saying, okay, what would I need in order to achieve this big vision? So what could be one goal? For example, I need to learn how to run a retreat center. That's a big one, okay, right? So that's kind of far down the list. Now it's like, okay, in the next 5 to 10 years, I might learn how to run a retreat center so I can go to different retreats. What do I need to go to different retreats? I might want to be location independent with my income, right? Okay, so break it down again. See, and then there's this bigger goal. This big vision is breaking down into several 5-year goals that are still very big. And then those 5-year goals, I break it down into 1-year goals. That's the most classic one. We see it New Year's, we see it on birthdays, right? You say like, okay, next year I'm gonna do this and this and this. This is kind of like a simple goal setting process. And I do love that. I do love to reflect on yearly goals and set yearly goals for myself. Here it gets very interesting because this big vision, it can be broken down into so many different things. What I can say is the most powerful way of goal setting is simplify. Simplifying my goals has helped me so much to have this singularity of focus. The focus is what's going to accelerate your growth on achieving your goals. So for the yearly goals, I only focus on 1, 2, or 3 goals. Maybe 3 kind of bigger goals. Not too big, but also not too small. We're going to get to the process, the exact process of goal setting that I have learned at my coach training program in a bit. Stay tuned for that. But just 3 goals, 3 main goals for 1 year that are all kind of related to this bigger vision, right? And that doesn't have to be that it's only about money, but it can also include health, because you gotta be healthy for your big vision. That can also include relationships, whatever is most meaningful for you, right? That's the clarity regarding core values that's playing in there. But just 3, and then you can have a list of some other ones, maybe 10, 20 of that are optional, but those 3 you're gonna focus on. Okay, and then breaking, even those are too big, I've found. Just to have yearly goals, it's like, yeah, I'm doing stuff on a day-to-day basis, but I can't really measure or see my progress towards those yearly goals. So I've come across this very famous concept, actually, of the 12-week goals. So 3 months of the year, and you set yourself goals and you track it rigorously. And I've been trying it out for the past 6 months, and it's been working fantastically. I love it so much. So before we get to the 12-week goals, I really want to share this goal setting process. It's called Aim Smart. Aim Smart. And that means you aim for a goal when you set a goal, and you aim smart. Aim stands for 1. You ask yourself, what is the acceptable? What is the minimum I can do in the next 12 weeks, for example, now? What's the minimum I could do? Then you ask yourself, what's the ideal? What's the ideal I could do? And you ask yourself, at the M in the aim, what's the middle ground? What's a realistic stretch? So you don't want to be like just achieving the acceptable that you know that you can do, but you don't want to aim too high, you know, of like, oh, in the next 12 weeks I'm gonna increase my income by 10k or whatever. Depends on what level you're in, but you know, it's like make it achievable, make it the middle ground for a goal. And then the specific goal in and of itself, for the 12-week goals itself, I also just set 3 goals. From this, maybe one big yearly goal, I set it and I break it down into the 3 most meaningful smaller goals for the next 3 months, for the next 12 weeks. And with those goals, I also say, okay, it's gotta be smart goal setting. So that means specific. What's the very first step? Measurable, achievable, reasonable, and time-oriented. That's the smart goal setting process. And we'll get into that as I explain. Because those 12-week goals, interestingly enough, what have you been expecting, are breaking down again, right, into weekly goals. So I set those 3 12-week goals, and then I track and I journal in my journal. Right? I track and I write down, plan for week one. What for week 1, for the next upcoming week, what are the sub goals that I can achieve in order to fulfill the first goal of the 12-week goals? What are the sub goals I can write down and achieve in order to make progress towards my second goal of my 12-week goals, and for the third one as well? And if there's other very interesting, very like pressing to-dos or goals, I put those under the category other. And then at the end of the week, I reflect on all those sub-goals I've set, which should also be specific. So what's the very first step? Measurable. So how can I measure my progress towards this goal? Achievable. How possible is it to achieve? Reasonable. How reasonable is what I'm saying I'm gonna do in this time, how reasonable is it, and time bound, by when exactly will I have completed this goal. And then at the end of the week, and each Sunday, for example, is it for me, I sit down at the end of the day and I reflect and I journal. And I kind of calculate my success rate. So the success rate is a very simple formula. It's the tasks that I have completed divided by the complete number of tasks or goals I have set for myself times 100. Right? So then you have a percentage of your success rate. And that is just to raise awareness about it. It's not to judge yourself that you haven't achieved 100%. I found it's not realistic to achieve 100%. Like, it's just, it's not possible. But then if you have like 75%, 80%, maybe 60%, 50%, you can see where your energy and attention is going throughout the week. And that's getting very specific, right? It's getting very tangible. You can grasp it. That's what's so powerful about it. And then I reflect on each and every goal of the sub-goals of the 12-week goals. So the weekly goals, and I reflect what has been working well, what has been challenging, what can I do better next time, right? People in my coach training program are getting those exercises as well. It's fantastic. And also I reflect on, am I enjoying the journey? That's the foundation of it. Am I enjoying the journey? And that's kind of the most important part of setting goals. It's not to get lost in achieving them or not achieving them, but it's like, enjoy the journey. Still, like, take it easy, dude. But take it. Last thing I want to mention for this video is you have the weekly goals. The weekly goals I do have, like, for these specific topics, I have like all the action steps I can recommend. All the action steps that I could do for this one specific 12-week goal. I write them down, and then from those I can choose those action steps for my weekly goals. And then when I approach those weekly goals, it's super effective to have a calendar. I don't know about you new age young people, if you like digital calendars, but I love my physical calendar. And you know, each day of the week there is a whole bunch of space for me to schedule in the things I know I need to do in order to achieve my weekly goal, which is going to progress me towards my 12-week goal, which is going to progress me towards my yearly goal, which is going to progress me towards my 5 to 10 year vision, which is going to ultimately lead me to realize this 25-year vision. And that's a big broken down process. That's the goal setting process I'm following at the moment. It's been working very well. And I do have to mention and notice and recognize and acknowledge and appreciate that there is this whole goal setting is one way of approaching life, which I've been following and which I do really like and enjoy. There is another way, though, to approach life, which is just perfectly as fine as the goal setting process. If the goal setting process doesn't resonate with you, there's a way of approaching life with a sense of surrender, not having a vision, not having any goals, but just trusting in God and trusting in life, and then just flowing with life. Taking each moment as it comes, trusting God that the right thing is gonna happen. I found it's a tough one, and I'm sticking with the vision and the goals for this period in my life. But I've seen people who are just completely surrendering to life and who are doing well. But there's traps and kind of dangers in both approaches. The goal setting process and the vision creation, and the full surrender and trusting God and life. And I mean, in the goal setting process, there's a certain sense of trust and surrender as well. But that's about it. I hope you got some value out of it. As I mentioned, if you want to support with creating your vision and creating those goals, coaching is a very effective way I've found to help people create those goals and create that vision. And as I said, I love to help psychonauts discover and actualize their life purpose so they can live in alignment with who they truly are. If that resonates, check out the link and we can have a chat. Thank you very much for watching. Have a beautiful day. I love you very much. See you in the next one.